What's going on, YouTube? Here we have my Glock 45 MOS. I'm about to modify this thing. I took it slow because I didn't want to mess with it, because in Maryland here we have to actually qualify for our carry and wear permits, and I shoot this thing pretty good as it comes from the factory, so I didn't want to mess with the sights or anything. I wanted to just make sure I could qualify with it before I started tricking it out. So qualified today. Here you see what I did. It was 25 shots, various distances. We had a few reloads in there. You see my score, 25 out of 25. So now, about to turn this thing into a turbo. Glock 45 MOS, about to trick this thing out a little bit. So here we are, we have the Glock 45 MOS all disassembled, about to do a few upgrades. I have the beaver tail backstrap that I selected. I'm going to put that on. Also have the, have my front sight tool, Glock front sight tool, have my punch. I'm going to be putting this TLR-8 Streamlight with the red laser. I'm going to be installing that, and also these Ameriglo suppressor height night sights with the tritium inserts. Have my Loctite, and I have my rear sight pusher. So I'm going to get right into it. First, we're going to do the sights, the front and rear sights. So the first thing we're going to do is replace the sights. So for removing the rear sight, there's a lot of methods out there. I feel like the best one is using one of these rear sight pusher tools. Could cost you about $40 or $50, but it's worth it because, it'll remove the rear sight without damaging the slide or the rear sight itself. So this one, as you can see, has the little plastic inserts to clamp your slide in place. Also has an adjustment here where you can adjust the elevation. I've already put it in here, so I'm not going through a demonstration of how we did it. Also has another screw right here where you can tighten this up to hold the slide in place right there. And then the other thing I like about this is it has these lines where it'll help you line your rear sight up once you put the new one on. So from here, all you have to do is pretty much just turn this thing, and as you can see, it pushes the sight out. A lot of people will tell you you can hit it with a hammer and knock it out, but then you're gonna damage the rear sight because these Glock sights are made of plastic. So I prefer this, especially if you have more than one Glock that you're going to change the sight on. Just keep turning, and as you can see, it pushes that thing right out. And it fell, so we're going to pick it up because we're going to save that. But as you can see, the rear sight is off. So now what you see is I've put the Ameriglo night sight in and positioned it with the slide, and secured it in, and I'm just gonna turn it, and just like it pushed the other sight out, it's gonna push this sight in. Now you might have to hold it, put a little bit of elbow grease behind it. Just gotta crank it a little bit. Keep cranking. You want to kind of try to crank it until it lines up midway. And like I said, the good thing about this tool is that it has these lines. So I'll just take it and take this Loctite, this is the paper from my Loctite, and I'll just try to line it up. So looks like I could crank it a little more the other way. So we're gonna try to get it as precise as we can. That looks pretty good. I might need to adjust it a little bit more, but that looks pretty good now. So we'll roll with that. And if we need to fine tune it, we'll do a little bit more. But that's the rear sight. So let's get to the front sight. Okay, now we're gonna go after the front sight. Now that we have the rear sight replaced, still looks a little off to me. Might have to tweak it a little bit, but it's in there. So the front sight is different. As you can see, the front sight has this looks like a hex screw. That's why you need this Glock front sight tool to remove this thing. You can find these all over the internet. Not hard to find, not expensive, but I don't think you can remove a Glock front sight without them. So if you have Glocks and you're planning on replacing the front sights, you're gonna need this thing. This thing is magnetic, by the way, so it will retain the screw. As you can see, the front sight is held in by this hex screw. So this tool, without this tool, I really can't see how you can get in there and replace that. So we're just gonna put that in there, try to get it lined up. And just unscrew it. That's 101. Pretty basic. Not a whole lot to it. The good thing about this tool is that it's magnetic, so it will retain the screw. The front sight fell out. So here's the front sight, and the screw is retained in there. So we're going to keep the sight. Might want to put it back on the gun. Maybe I might end up selling it. So I might want to take these upgraded sights off and put the factory sights back on. So we're going to keep this sight and the screw and replace it with the new sight. So here we have the messy part. So I have my screw that came with the Ameriglo tritium night sight. I have it seated in my Glock front sight tool. I'm just gonna put a dab of Loctite on this screw. Don't want to get too much on there. That's good. And then we're gonna take the sight, seat it into the slide. And that's the good thing about this tool being magnetic. We're gonna get this thing seated into here, hopefully, with no issues. Now this could be a little tricky. You can't be afraid to get your hands dirty here. And this is why I don't like this part, because you don't want to get this Loctite all over your slide. But sometimes you kind of have to. You just have to clean it off. Gotta get that thing seated back in there properly. You want to get it in there before this stuff starts to cure. So we got it. I might just have to do a little bit of cleaning, but it's in there. You definitely want to put some Loctite on this front sight when you seat it in there, because you don't want that thing jumping off, and that thing will jump off with the concussion of you shooting the gun. So that's in there. So now we have our front sight installed and our rear sight installed. I'm gonna have to clean my slide, of course, because I have Loctite all over my fingers. I don't have a lot on there, but I'm gonna have to clean that off. But it's installed, so all's good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to install is this beaver tail back strap that I selected. This is fairly simple. Glock included this punch right here with the MOS model. They also gave you, let's see if you can see it, there's an extra post in here with the other beaver tail backstrap. But this is fairly simple. You're just gonna use this punch to remove this post. I'm not gonna use this punch. I just included it to show you with Glock what Glock gave you with the pistol. I'm gonna use this punch that I have. So you're just gonna remove this post. Place the beaver tail on the gun and then put the post back. Everybody knows how to do a punch. I'm just gonna use my channel locks to hit it. I'm not gonna film that, but I'll come back and show you what it looks like with it when it's installed. Okay, so we have the beaver tail backstrap installed. Like I said, that's just a simple hammer and punch thing. Everybody knows how to do that. No need to demo that. I needed to kind of, you know, twerk it a little bit, so I didn't film it, but it's a pretty simple procedure. I like it. So now it's time to reassemble this gun. Everybody knows how to reassemble a Glock. It's pretty simple, so not going to film that. Just going to get straight to installing this TLR8 light, and then we'll be finished. So okay, so I have my Glock 45 MOS reassembled with the Ameriglo suppressor height night sights. I really like that sight picture. But one more upgrade today anyway. This is not the last upgrade, but I'm going to install this TLR8 light laser combo. So this is really easy to install. Just costs you a penny. I say a penny because it fits into this slot. to loosen the screw. You can use a screwdriver. I don't think you need a screwdriver. I feel like a screwdriver might be a little bit much. Could mess up the threads, but you just need to loosen it enough. It's spring loaded, but you want the clasp to release enough to get around your Glock rail. And then you're just gonna, let's see if it's loose enough. Just gonna try to line it up. There it is, we got it. And then we're gonna take the penny and we're going to just tighten it up. You don't want to over tighten it because of course the Glock is a polymer pistol, so you could damage it. Just want to make sure it's snug and not jumping around on here. This is a real easy install. Like I said, don't want to over tighten it. Just get it so it's snug. I might went a little too far, but like I said, you don't need to put your muscles into it. But there you have it. I wouldn't call it tricked out, but definitely an upgrade. And then the other thing you have to realize is that, let's get this penny out of here. The other upgrade I've done on this pistol is, this is a loaded magazine, by the way, but since I live in Maryland, this is a 17 round magazine, which normally this gun comes with. But Maryland is one of these states that has the 10 round magazine capacity limit. So this gun came with I don't have them right here. I thought I had them. This gun came with three 10 round magazines. So this gun is supposed to be 17 plus 1, but in Maryland it comes 10 plus 1. Yeah, that's funny, but so I had to order the 17 round magazines after I bought the gun. Luckily, it's not illegal to possess 17 round magazines, or I should say it's not illegal to possess magazines of more than 10 rounds capacity in Maryland. It's just illegal to buy, sell, or transfer them in Maryland. But you can go across state lines and buy them and bring them into Maryland. It's perfectly legal to possess them. So I have a friend, or I would say co-worker, who lives in Pennsylvania. So what I do is just order the magazines, have them shipped to his house, and then I'll pick them up from his house. It's Maryland, the part of Maryland where I live in, which is the Baltimore area, is not far from Pennsylvania. You can also do it in Virginia. Virginia allows the sale of magazines over 10 plus round capacity. Also West Virginia. Those are the 3 states that Maryland borders. So it's not hard to get the magazines. You just have to jump through a couple of hoops. So if you live in a state where they allow you to buy magazines of more than 10 round capacity, consider yourself lucky, because those of us in these restricted states, we have to jump through a couple of hoops to get our guns to, hold the capacity that they are designed to hold. So even this 17 round magazine for this Glock 45 double stack is an upgrade. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm not going to chamber around. This gun is empty, but this gun is upgraded, and now this is a formidable home defense weapon. It was a formidable home defense weapon before, but now I love it. You look at, has this light laser combo, 500 lumens, waterproof. Like I said, light and laser. Let's see if we can show that laser. You can see the laser right there. Let's toggle it to laser only. There you go. So my next step is to take this gun to the range and zero this laser in, even though I don't know how much I'll actually be using a laser, but you know, it's a home defense pistol, so why not? Why not give yourself all of the advantages that you can have? It also has a strobe feature. Let's see if we can get that on. Nice little combo. Let's dim these lights and see what kind of sight picture we get with these night sights. Nice. Like I said, these are suppressor height night sights. So I will be adding an optic to this pistol. But that tritium works really nice. Let's turn the lights back on. So here you have it. Upgrades done to my Glock 45 MOS. I'm gonna take that magazine out because it's loaded, but the pistol was clear. As you saw that, made sure the pistol was clear, as you know, when we took the slide off to upgrade it. But I'm happy. This is, like I said, this is a very formidable home defense weapon, and this is only my secondary home defense weapon. My primary home defense weapon is an AR-9, so you know, we could roll with this. I'll have more upgrades coming. I'm still researching optics, so like I said, this is the MOS model. So once I decide on the optic, I'm gonna add that. I'll do another upgrade video. But until then, have fun, get some shooting done, be safe. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And that's it. Peace. We are out.